Okay, guys, we're gonna get into some double wrist lock Kimura kind of techniques. These techniques will be repetitive if you have my Filthy Kimura instructional, but it's worth showing again because not everybody has it. And Kimuras from the turtle are a really good weapon. I can't not show it. Okay. Okay, so much to the turtle. It's crazy. Okay, so remember when I talked about bottlenecking? I create the holes. He creates the judgment. All right. What I need him to do is reach under my elbow somewhere, but I need to do it where I can get access to his elbow. So usually it's always on the near side. You can catch it on the far side, but it's a big transition. And I can show you an example of it, but if you miss, you can get clowned a little bit. So ideally, you want to do it on the near side or in him in transition. Okay, so basically he's in that back position. He's not directly behind me, but he's trying to look for the back, and I'm just blocking. And remember, everything I'm doing is I'm protecting myself. I'm trying to protect myself. I'm shrugging. So if he reaches in, he's not going to feel any neck. He's going to feel like skull and bones, my muscles. And being there, I can get a good 2-on-1. Remember, I peel at the fingers, break the grip, and now I have a good grip. And now he's got an issue because I have his wrist. Now, let's just get into the technique, okay? So he's on the side. Now, if I want him to reach this way, I create the hole, okay? I might not be able to create it right away. I might be here, and he's trying to attack me, and then I just go here, and they reach in. If he reaches in on his own accord, now I trap the wrist. This happens quite a bit, even though it seems like ridiculous. He will reach in a lot of times when he's desperate because he can't find any controls on me. So basically, I'm stalling him out, and then I create an opening, and he says, oh, shit, I'm going to reach for the double, maybe reach it inside, whatever the case is. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to lose position here as I do this. I want to get my figure four. Look where his elbow is. It's a little ways away. So as I get this, I'm going to start pulling it. But I don't want to pull my elbow out. You see how they create that space? Yeah. Once he gets that, the Kimura's dog shit. You have to really break that grip. There's ways to do it, but it's so much work. So when you get this Kimura, make sure you're not creating that space. Remember, you're in the corner. You've got to protect your corners. If you choose to throw a hook in here, I can bump him off, okay? But if I'm creating this space, remember, no space, tight. Remember, when you're turtle, you're never relaxed. You're always flexed, okay? So I'm pushing into my hip. So I'm here, I'm pushing in. I'm working, he reaches in, boom, I get his wrist. So there's no counter to him right now. Now I got to get his weight off of me, and I got to get his head behind me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to posture up. Okay. Now, when you can knee slide first if you need to. I don't. Most of the time, I don't have to. Okay. So now from here, I start to lean into him a little bit, get my foot ready, flare my toes out, and I'm going to come up. Now, don't look for the lock right away. If I look for it right here, he can butt drag me and smash my head on the mat. Boom. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to kind of put my elbow on his head, on his neck. See how it kind of came down? Now that he can't get me. I stepped out and swung out. Now I keep this tight. Locked. Now from here, when you do this technique, try not to think Kimura. Remember, its job is to keep the arm bent. This job on this arm is to pull and finish the lock. And what it does, it keeps strong guys from straightening out and escaping. All right, if you ever go Kimura and a guy's straightening his arm like this to escape, if he does that, you can still try to take it up. But generally speaking, it's because you're pushing, you're not keeping it bent. Okay, so keep it bent. So I'm up. Now I'm going to think, take this elbow and put it to the mat. If I can get my elbow on top of him, which sometimes is not possible because they're just too tight, that's ideal. But as I'm going here, I'm just going to pivot on my knee, pull and follow him and thinking, throw an elbow to the ground. So I'm going to pivot, get covered, get to the outside. Now from here, I can finish him here. But how you want to finish this is always up to you. There's so many ways to finish a freaking Kimura. You know, sometimes the most basic is the way to go. Post, over, or posture. Up to you. Okay, if you want to learn more about the Kimura itself, you either pick up my DVD. I spent a whole freaking DVD on Kimura combinations, okay? I basically beat it to death. So, pick it up. I'm sure there's a deal. You can get it for a nickel. All right. So the deals there was, you see, I came up, smashed my elbow, kind of on the back of the neck. What did that do? Sent his head down, protected my head, and I stepped out to the outside and pivoted. Then from there, quickly locked and hold my figure four. Okay. I'll do it one more time. So I'm here, I'm blocking, he's got nothing, I'm posting, I open up, boom, got it. So now what I'm going to do, I pull it. Remember, I don't flare my elbow. Okay, can't let that happen. So I stay tight. Now quickly, as I come up, I'm going to throw my elbow on the back of his head. There, the elbow comes up. Lock, 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 lock. Down behind his back. Okay. Simple. Okay? Now, the other way you're going to see this is transitioning. Okay? He goes from the front part of the clock to the back. And why does he do that often? Head position in the wrist, right? Head position in the wrist. So he's kind of in that front headlock position. I get the 2-on-1 strip his grip. Now from here, I either keep my head in the center, I either move my head or I move the wrist, right? Move my body or move the wrist. He starts to go behind. Now's the time to go. Because the hand that's going to attack your head is in your hands, okay? So let's go me facing this way. So I'm here. Boom, I got my wrist, right? And I start pushing, fading, and I go here, right? Now he starts to go behind. I come out the backside leg, and I finish the lock. Right? I don't need to finish it again. Okay? One more time. Maybe do it here. Boom. I'm in here. I'm fighting the Kimura. Pin. Lose my head position. Keep circles. I come up, lock it, and I go. For a backup, if you need extra power, you can't get it, you can always catch it and go Navy. Okay? So, that's phase one. Basic setup for a Kimura from that turtle position. Unless he simply does this. Hey, then it's right in front of you. You can figure four. But don't expect to see that. Not in the grappling one. Okay, guys, remember I talked a little bit about turtle being judo-ish? You know, no, I don't want to say something wrong to judo guys. I love judo. But if I go for this Kimura, he's going to react. And like I said, coming out of the hole here, he can go behind me. It's very common, you know. And if he goes behind me, he can try to get his elbow out, and he's going to be looking for that one-on-one. If he gets the one-on-one, he got a good chance of beating this Kimura, and I got to make sure that doesn't happen. So it's discipline with this arm, keep the arm bent, this arm doing the submission, right? And all elbows in all the time. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm coming out of the hole. I look for the Kimura. And like I said, he might dive an arm in and I just snatch it. But that's not a setup. That's just him making a mistake. You want to make him make mistakes. You want to set up. You want something he can actually do. Okay, now, once I feel him go behind me or try to jam into me, as he goes behind me, he's taking away his post. Okay, so basically I was facing him to turn him over. As he goes behind, his legs are going here. He doesn't have a post. The post he's supposed to have is the figure four. And when I was at Hayastan, they used to really talk about the Kimura. Don't look at it, the figure four, don't look at it as a submission all the time. Look at it as a control. It's a 2-on-1, right? And it's a real good control. So you can use the Kimura for things more than just submissions. Okay, so when you work it, it's great. We used to do these drills where we would lock a Kimura. And a lot of times it'd be behind us, but you could lock a Kimura anywhere. And the goal was to teach you how to use your legs and hips to finish the lock, and use the legs and hips to sweep and do things like that. And the guy would be stuck in it. Instead of trying to always finish it, get on top and then try to finish it, or use it as a sweep, or use it as a setup for a knee bar. And it was really fantastic. It was good training, but it also taught you how to make a great grip on your Kimura. And that's something I haven't talked about just yet. Let me cover that real fast. And then, cause like I said, you can get all the details about the Kimura and my instructional, but just really quick, see your arm. When you have this lock, a lot of guys want to monkey grip it. That's great. I would call it monkey grip now. I don't know what it's called. Okay. But I like to grab the wrist. Okay. I like to grab it with my thumb. And then if I need the extra horsepower, I'll slip it out. And that's once I get in position. But when I don't have position, I like having the wrist like this. And the main part is, what if I got a bail on the Kimura? If I feel it's going wrong, I can let go. Now I still have a wrist control. I can go 2-on-1. I can frame. I can move the wrist. So I have some control of it. And if you do a double wrist lock properly, you're going to be locking the wrist up or you're going to be twisting the wrist. Those are the things. But in my experience, guys, have gloves on. Their wrists are taped. That's kind of hard to do a lot of times. I just don't feel like I get it. So I stay on the wrist. Okay. Now when I have this, I always make elbows in and I roll my wrist. Okay. To keep them from straightening it. Roll my wrist. Okay. And then from this, you don't want space between your hand. So when you see that lock, that little diamond, you don't want that. Go to your hand or whatever you can so there's no grip. Now when I roll this, he tap, it's just pressure on your radial nerve. It's a lot of pain. Okay. But I've never broke anyone's arm just by squeezing like this, but you can really put a dent in them, okay? So when you do your Kimura grip, you should be like this the whole time. Don't just hold it, okay? Because it's going to be loose. He's going to be jacking you off or whatever you want. Just make it tight, elbows in. So he tries to move his arm. He can't. So it's part of me, my arm now. So when you get that lock makes it nice and tight, you're trying to move it. My body's doing the lock. My arm, I'm moving with it. I'm not pushing it. Okay. Now, we'll get into the setup. Now, same kind of thing. I'm working. He reaches in by chance, maybe here, doing the advanced version that we'll get to at the end. He reaches in and I lock it. Or let's take it this way. He's looking for the rear naked choke kind of grip. I'm protecting. I get my grip. I get 2-on-1. Now his elbow's a little too high. I bump, skip out, and I get my frame. Give him a hit, okay? When I do this, what are you going to do? He's going to do the opposite, right? He comes back, lock my grip. See, I could go right for it. Nice little setup, push and pull, okay? Now when I'm here, you see how this leg is up? He gets smart. He picks his head up and starts going behind me. He's like, F that. He's looking for the 1-on-1. Now, when he does that, there is no post over here. Okay? Now, I don't roll like this. I actually step back and roll. That creates momentum, and I'm rolling over this shoulder. So I step back and roll, and I roll over his head. Okay? Bring the arm out behind his back, and finish. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same technique, but when you do this for real, you're going to move the arm behind the back for the finish during the roll, okay? So basically, as soon as his back hits the mat, you're going to be turning and putting it on the submission. Now, make sure you roll over his head. It's kind of paramount. I don't know if that's the correct word for that, but you definitely want to roll over his head. Okay, so even in practice, you want to roll over his chest, maybe get it easy. Don't. Roll over his head. He's a grown up or he's a kid. Should be able to take someone rolling over his head. Okay? All right, so he's here. Maybe he's looking for the rear naked choke. He goes in. Boom. I get my wrist. maybe use my forehead, maybe use my frame. He's too tight to me or something. I maybe bump him here. Now, when I'm in this position, I feel his head slingshot back. I come out of the hole. I start trying to crank him. He moves behind me. Up, bend, roll over his head, catch. Got it. You okay? Yeah. All right. My boy Carl Parisian was sick at this kind of stuff. He had so many fights where he was doing this kind of stuff from standing. It's the same thing. Okay? So that's what? Push and then pull. Right? So that's just a couple so far. All right? We're going to build off this. Okay, so guys, I'm putting all this in motion because how guys move. All right? So let's just go turtle a second. So remember, like, even though I'm the clock, he's the hands of the clock. So he might come, if I feel my weight go back here and I feel like I'm going to get rolled, I'm naturally going to post and recover my balance. And that leaves me vulnerable for another technique. So it's basically going to be like I'm kind of like a push. Okay. Then I go pull, he steps, and then I go push and roll. Okay. So basically he is being smart. He's shifting his weight like, no, I'm not going to let you get this. Very common, right? And during this process, when you practice, I'm giving you a sequence to practice, but you don't have to put this in a sequence. You could just go direct to whatever technique you want. So basically, if you want to do the throw, you could set up the throw, pivot, and make it happen. If you want to do the sit and butterfly throw, you can do that. Like, you can take this individually. I'm putting in a sequence that to me is pretty practical against a solid grappler wrestler. And it's a good way to drill as you learn this. And this will help you a lot with your Kimura game. And like I said, just remember, try to keep this from being pushed out. Okay? It will happen at times. If it does, just work with it. Try to keep it to your chest and use your whole body and legs to do the finish. And while you're at it, remember, I like to roll that wrist because guys are strong. They'll shift their move away and straighten their arm. They'll turn the palm up, straighten or pull. But when you roll that wrist, now you've got your whole wrist covering that part of his wrist rather than just a couple fingers. I mean, that's not much right here. It takes a lot of strength in my hand against a guy my size, strong, equal. But if I roll like a motorcycle, now I'm a lot stronger and I can even kind of cheat and use my forearm here as a wrist control for if I have to do a wrist submission. Like I said, if you get the Filthy Kimura, it should go over all that. All right, so now I'm going to put this back in play, and then we'll do the throwing technique. Okay, so let's all right, let's go back to transitioning with it. All right, so let's say he's in front of me, right? Okay, and I'm working this. My grip, I'm starting to move. I switch my head. He goes behind, and I feel the clearing to come up and lock. Remember, I feel his head come up, and I feel like he's going to get me, I smash his head down. Now I lock. Okay? Now from here, I start to push. He goes behind me. I start to look for the throw, and he steps for balance. He might even step more. Okay? Now when he does that, I don't feel the roll. I can keep pivoting for the roll, but not if he keeps following me. Then it's kind of getting silly. So I'm going to re-engage. Now I can re-engage and lift, but he already jammed that. So now I'm going to get my leg in the fight and add some extra strength, and I'm going to sit and roll and throw. Now when I do this, this leg will be up. I'm just trying to do this in a slow way. I don't want my knee here. Okay? This will still work when I do the throw, but you're not going to be as strong. He's going to go the direction I'm pointing my knee for the most part. So when I do this butterfly, I'm actually going to be pushing out. And what it's doing, it's going to force his weight off of me as I do this sit and throw. Okay? So when you get the butterfly, when I step up and put this in, don't be like limped on it. All right? Be strong and push him to the outside. Get that weight off you, and you'll have a good finish, okay? Otherwise, like I said, you'll get here, you're going to have to use a lot of muscle in this leg. And if he's a big boy, you could strain something or it's going to fail. Okay. Now I'll just do the technique for you. Okay. Then I'm going to roll you. Okay. And then I'll put it in the sequence. So basically, before I put it in the sequence, I have the lock. This leg is up. I'm going to step, put my butterfly in, and don't sit away. Sit straight down. Think like you're a ball. When I do this, shoulders rounded like a ball. Don't be out here. You're going to be weaker, tight. He can't move that arm if he wants to. But if I get here, see the space I'm creating? It's just going to work against me. Tight. Now I'm going to step up, push my knee out, and throw, right? Now, I don't like doing this and ending up like this. Okay? There are things you can do from here, but trying to get on top by losing the separation instead of rolling with him, it's kind of hard to get on top. So normally when this happens, you're going to have to probably switch to more like Senkaku type stuff. Okay? Instead, I'm going to roll with him and get on top. Use his momentum to help me get back on top. All right? Let's do it again. I wanted to separate that so you guys can see. Go in front. Fine. So when I do this throw, I'm here. You ready?
Yep.
I'm going to sit and I'm going to roll, ride him, and get on top. Okay? Get on top, bunch, and finish. Okay? So just take for the ride. So just kind of like that drill you might do in jiu-jitsu class where you're doing that rocking chair. Okay? You're just rocking, chairing. Oh, I'm coming on top. All right? So that's the technique. Now put in a drilling sequence or a reality sequence. Okay? Yeah. In front. He's front. Maybe I'm clearing the wrist. He moves behind. I'm coming up. If his head is up, I smack it down. Look for my wrist. Try to lift it. He goes behind. I go to throw. He steps. I come back up. Throw. Ride. And finish. Okay? Here's an example of when you're fighting out of the turtle and some ideas you can do. Okay? Okay, folks, so I'm going to stay with my Kimura. Now we're going to get into some of the funky stuff, okay? But before I do that, I just want to mention something. I mentioned earlier, just to remind you of techniques I taught you earlier, that should I go to the Kimura and I feel like, oh crap, I just can't get postured, rolling, it's just not a great idea at the moment. Because I grabbed the wrist like this, I can now just take this wrist out, okay? Take the wrist out, pin his wrist down. Now look at my forearm, smash. You can stay postured, Now I can swim for my underhook, okay? So that's what's great about the wrist when you grab it like this. Remember, I'm not using this as a submission right now. I'm using it as a 2-on-1. So I personally like grabbing the wrist. All right, so that was a good example. I went here, maybe he spiked me on my head. I limp out, pin the wrist, frame, shoot my single, look for my underhook. Just something to think about when you're doing these techniques with the Kimura, especially next to you. It's going to be pretty fun and addicting. If it's not there, it's not there. If you look for the Kimura, it's not there. You still have the wrist. Bail on it. Boom. Find your attack. Okay? Just don't be like a bulldog and trying to hold on, because if it's not there, that's why we have all these techniques. Sometimes it's just not there. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is just this weird roll. I don't really have a name for these things, but it's something I've been doing for a long time. And in my prime, I could do it really fast. And it's just weird. It's like a Senkaku triangle. But the roll is a little different. I'm not necessarily he's going to roll, but I'm rolling underneath him. Okay, I'm rolling underneath him. So for this technique, actually what I do is I actually kind of throw my head under him, and my leg is going to catch under his armpit, and I'm just going to lock a triangle, like a Senkaku triangle. During the process, a lot of times they just fall right over. If they don't, I just finish it there, and I'll finish on top. And then I'll be able to relock. You'll see what I'm saying. So before I put it into the sequence, I'll show you the technique. And you're going to have to let me know what angle. I think me going this way is the best way. All right? All right. So on here, I have the wrist. You can just kind of be on the side here. Now, let's come like behind me or whatever. Right there. That's good. Fine. Now, let's say I have my Kimura, okay? This would be a good, when I do this, a lot of times it's because I can't get my head up. So he picks his head up and he's spiking me on my head. Okay, good example. Now, this is not the end of the world for me. So what I'm going to do with my Kimura, a lot of times I'll push it into his own hip. And I'll keep my hands locked. I'm just trying to show you so you can see. I push him to the hip so I can create some space and block his hip from running me over. Okay? So I pin it and I'm going to roll under him. And my left leg here is going to catch this arm. Okay? It's going to catch this arm. Okay? So when I'm here, maybe I go down, boom. What I'm going to do now, push, roll underneath him, catch, lock, and finish the triangle. Now from here, I finish the triangle. If it fails, I have a short arm bar. But remember, this is pretty good. If it fails, just relock your Kimura. Okay, I'm going to unlock and I'm going to kick my leg down and I'm going to come up on top. Normally, I just post on my head or sit up and sit on his head. So from here, I kick his leg, come up on top, and cover and finish. Okay? Once again, using the Kimura as a 2-on-1 control, okay, rather than a submission. Okay? It's just constantly going back and forth with that. And normally when I do it, it's because I can't get my head up. Okay? If I can get my head up and take the Kimura, it's too easy. I'm going to take it. All right? Do you need to see the roll?
Same angle. That was a good angle.
Okay, why don't we do it and just kind of try to do it slow. Okay. So try to keep your balance so people can see the lock right now. Yep. So I'm here, I'm down, I push on his hip, his leg, and you see how my leg is catching. I throw my head underneath him. I don't want to be out here. Throw your head underneath him, and I'm going to push with my foot, and I'm going to just basically go under. Bring my knee on top of the back of his head so I can get him pinched, and I lock here, and I flex. Now, when I do this, the reality is I just got to flex this hamstring. It's not a real reverse triangle because of the way my legs are locked. My hamstring is doing the choke. I don't have anything under his chin like my shin or nothing. So here, I just pull. See how I'm hooking my wrist up? It's just to try to attain some type of control of his arm. So I don't want to let it go. What if I need it? Okay. Now from here, pinch my knees, curl, and flex this hamstring. Okay, get your tap. Then my backup fails. Boom, kick the leg, post my head, and come on top. All right. Okay. We're just gonna do it one more time. Is it good?
Let's say you want to start the sequence, or you want to do one more time?
Well, let's do this. I'll go for the lockup on the Kimura. Maybe I'm doing something, and I feel your head drive on top of me.
Okay.
And like I said, I feel like I have to go back down.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I said, I'm not gonna move too fast. Okay. I'm fading anyways. Here. Boom, he comes out the back, I come here, and then he drives me, and I fucking smash my head on the mat. Now I push into his hip, roll, catch, lock, and he's done. Okay, this is a great move from half guard. It's one of my favorites, and looks a little fancy, but this work, I get great luck with this. Now, one thing to add to it, what if I miss the triangle? You just roll. It's just going to be another reversal. Okay, so I'm going to do the same motion. let's say I missed the triangle. I'm just going to roll him over and finish the Kimura. Okay? So, same thing. Maybe I go here, boom, he gets his head behind me. I know I'm going down, I post, but let's say I'm going to miss the triangle this time. You don't have to do anything. I'm just not going to lock it, okay? So now I'm going to roll, kick, and now you can see where I come back on top. Okay? Same motion, but that time I just ignored the triangle. I just love that triangle. I'm just a triangle freak. Okay? So another lock in this sequence of, hey, trying to finish Kimura, I got spiked on my head, therefore and therefore, okay? Okay, this is another, this is more of a regular Sankaku triangle, I guess. What happens, remember, when you go to this Kimura, you take away your own posts. And you got your two legs and your big old head in my case. What can happen is, just go on your side. Lock my Kimura here. No, come on, turtle. What happens here, he locks it, and a guy what happens, they're not going to get, if he doesn't drive on top, a lot of times they'll just pick this ankle or they're just going to run you over and see how they're getting ready to do what. Bring your arm in, step to the other side, and counter the Kimura. But one of the things that can happen here, though, now, is he can use his leg to frame on my hip and set up a Kimura, Sankaku. So, just like I don't know if you guys remember, Matt Hughes countered, boy, I'm dating myself here. George St. Pierre went for the Kimura, Matt Hughes step over the head and turn it into an armbar. It's pretty normal, right? It's kind of that kind of concept. And what I'm going to do is Sankaku him, and then I'll show the spine lock on top of it. Okay, so I'm not going to do all the precursors, okay? So basically, I'm here, he's behind me, I lock this lock, I get my Kimura, and now he just bull rushes me over. Okay, he does, and I'm going to go block on his hip. So by blocking on his hip and throwing my leg back, he falls right in between. Now from here, I pull and I lock my my Sankaku. Now I could try to pull this off, but most of the time they're going to be strong as hell here. Now from here, you can finish from here if you like. Grab, flex, and squeeze. Me personally, I do not try to finish from here. I'm trying to choke him the whole time, but I tried getting on top. So basically, as soon as I lock this, I'm flexing my hamstrings and squeezing, because sometimes it's not perfect. There's gaps. Right away, I cover his back. Okay? This keeps him from doing a lot of counters. Okay? And if I have to, I can kind of reach through his crotch here too. Now, right away when this happens, I'll come up on my hand, start loading him, and coming up basically turtle as well. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to start dragging my knee back. And now he's going to tap. You okay? Now, from here, this is a great finish. This is how you want to finish. If he now tries to knock me over again, to fall back to the side, I grab his ankle, pull it, and I go for his knee. And that's your spine lock. You can go straight to that if you want, but this is all happening extremely quickly. Okay, extremely quickly. Make sense? That make sense? Yeah. So, I'm in. I get to more, I'm trying to work. He bumps me over. Boom. I get my frame, go over the top, lock. Now right away, lock, come on top, squeeze. Okay? Make sense? Okay, great. Other times you'll see this is, as I'm going for the Kimura, I can get my knee to push his head away. So basically, he bull rushes me over, and I'm able to get my knee here. This happens. This is dope. Okay? This very similar situation. And now, when I'm here, I usually have his arm stuck under, my foot's under his arm. And then from here, I slip it in and pick. So the only difference would be, he starts doing the bump over, and I shoot my knee in and protect that. It's the same thing. It's just a little different way to do it. I just want to give you the option. So if one way feels weird to you, because I know my legs are really long, maybe some of you guys are having problems with it. the knee cut on the side of the neck will work great. So if I'm here and I'm stuck, he bull rushes me over. I bring my knee into his face. Now from here, I stretch it over the top and lock. Okay? So this can happen really nice. It's good. At least I'm sticking with my lock. Sticking with my lock, trying to make something happen. All right, so that's a bunch of stuff you can do off that Kimura set from a turtle position. All right? I'm going to cover a rolling knee bar. Now, I see people have problems with this, and it's because when they roll for it, the guy on top, he's able to quickly defend it. He sees it coming. All right, and the reason for that, can you go turtle a second, please? So this turn. People, if a lot of times guys will step up in this position, or they're basically their leg is between the leg. Those things look very nice and they're good to do. But, guys nowadays are pretty hip to this rolling knee bar. So what happens, if he goes to roll for the knee bar right now, he's reaching, but you can see how he's reaching and there's some space here. At this point, I'm not driving into him or nothing. It's very easy for me to defend it. Okay? So I always try to do something else first. And the one thing you can always do is, remember, when I'm turtle, I'm generally speaking, unless I'm setting up previous techniques or whatever, like when I do the Pearson or these other ones, it's because he's controlling me pretty good. He's holding, he's playing the game. But generally, I'm grabbing the wrist and I'm trying to put you in front of me, like we talked about. Okay, I want to put you in front of me. Okay, don't want to leave myself in a bad spot, or I'm going to simply get up. So when guys kind of get behind you and you start seeing that leg between your legs, I start moving and I start getting up. They chase you. So it's kind of like, you ever see those knockouts where the guy throws a punch and he ends up slipping into it and it just hits hard as hell. The guy gets knocked out. Happens quite a bit. I kind of want the same concept. He's chasing me, and then I switch my motion from going away, and I switch back. And by doing that, it basically allows me to get a good grip of the leg, and it kind of shuts down it stops some of his defense from happening. Okay? Now, a quick way to start making this happen is to do a quick knee slide. Because what am I doing when I knee slide? I'm creating separation between our hips. Okay? So now he doesn't want that. He can't play turtle with his hips all the way out, and fight it really well. So what happens is he follows up and chases it. And that's when I switch back and I can go for the roll. Now, which roll do? I do a near arm roll. So if he's kind of on this side, I'm going to roll over this side. I don't want to roll this way because if I do get stuck, I'm going towards the meat and potatoes of his body. It's going to be heavy and it's going to be hard to roll him. And if I get stuck, my head's right here. He can counter me with Kratos, or if it's MMA, I'm going to take some big shots. So I'm going to do a near arm roll. So I'm just shifting my weight to the outside. Okay, so I'm going to do this kind of slow in the beginning, and then I'm kind of fading anyways. So I don't know how quick the rest of my techniques are going to be. All right? Maybe take a little caffeine or something. All right. Okay, so let's say he's now he's either directly behind me or he's at my 5 o'clock in this situation. Now, if you're looking, sometimes if you're stuck, he's putting a lot of pressure. I can see behind me, maybe looking for his leg. All right, so sometimes when you're crowded up there, you'll see the leg, and now you can know where it's at. Me, if I bump him, I can feel where he's at. I know where that leg is. I don't need to see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick hip side away. All right, and what's happening is he's going to chase me, and then I'm going to pivot. So I'm going to go knee slide, and as he chases me, I'm going to turn. So what happens, as he comes in, he's going to turn that corner. That leg's going to show. Now, I don't just roll for the knee bar. I actually pivot on my knee, and I swing and step back. And it allows me to get a good bite of the leg. Okay? And remember, if he doesn't chase me, I get up, or I swim, put him in front of me. So it's not like I can judge it. I'm not really sacrificing a lot of myself. And that's super important, because I am behind. He is behind me. All right? I got to respect him at all times. And even if you're way better than him, he can cross-face me or hit me or whatever the case is. So I'm blocking. I'm staying tight. If I see him reach for a choke, now I'm getting my wrist. Maybe I'm bumping the leg. And now, or I'm coming through on the wrist. I'm creating space. So now I'm trying to protect myself. And I'm ready to start moving. And what I'm going to do a little bit, I can feel the space between us already. I'm just going to give him a little bump. All right? So now his weight is back. And I'm going to push him. I'm going to knee slide away. All right? So now I slide. Boom. And I can feel him coming behind me. And I pivot there. And as he pivots back, come behind. See how that leg gets closer? A lot of time it's already going to be up, typically, because he's getting ready to redrive. Now, I don't go for the leg lock like this because there's still, my hips are too far away. I take a pivot and take a big step back on my kneecap. Big step back. As I do that, I don't roll from here. I try to roll underneath myself. So when they used to teach this, I used to say, try to put your head in your own ass. And it sounds funny, but it's kind of the idea. I want to shoot my head under me instead of rolling away. If I roll away, just stay where you are.
Yep.
You see, it's far. And it gives him a lot of time to block it. There we go. He's here. Maybe I'm on that wrist. As I pivot, he chases me. Now I take a big step back, and I'm going to dive and get a good grip. Big step back, big pivot, grab. Now, the big thing on this roll is when you get him to roll, you're going to hack him to get him to roll. Now, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this stuff, but there's some relevant things, okay? You can figure 4 to trap the leg. It's kind of the classic way. I've always kind of done it that way. And then, but I changed it recently. And the reason was I did some training with GoCore because I had an issue with a guy. His leg is big and strong. And even I could tap him on the leg lock. But deep down inside, I knew I couldn't break it. And when you can't break it and the money's on the line, you don't got it. So it's not worth it if I can't break it, right? Now, the adjustment he made me do was to step on my own foot, okay? And leg press it. And it changed everything. It was very helpful, okay? Now, when I do that, I'm not loosey-goosey. I'm always squeezing the thighs, right? Now, when I do a leg lock, like a knee bar, what I'm trying to stop from happening, because remember, he's got counters. His counter is going to be to pull my legs apart and all that other stuff. But he has to sit up. For him to sit up, he needs to rotate this heel down towards the mat. You see how he has to get it to sit up. All right? I don't want that to happen. Now, I can grab it, but remember, he's strong. It's a big freaking leg. So when I grab this, I have a certain way I like to grab it. All right? I like to put my foot, my face on the inside arch of the foot. And I basically control his foot to keep his heel from going down. So I'm here, I'm on the heel, and I tuck it. Now you can see his foot is trapped in the corner of my shoulder and head. Okay? And now from here, I figure 4. Now, as I do the lock and I start to do the knee bar, I'll twist the heel to the sky. Okay? I'm not trying to do like a heel hook kind of twist. What I'm trying to do is try to get a break. So if that knee joint, I'm not an orthopedist, but that knee joint sits in his leg when it's straight. When his straight leg, it's still in its natural position. If I twist that joint a little bit, what I do is I compromise the integrity of the knee. The meniscus, the tendons, they all get twisted just a little bit. And then when you add that with the barring motion that we're going to do, it will get a good chance it's going to snap something in that knee. Because there's certain guys, I had some Polynesian guys that I would train with. These guys' legs are like tree trunks, man. And I remember being on knee bars and I'm like killing myself, crushing my sack apart trying to knee bar these guys. So a lot of times I would just skip the knee bar and go to heel hook, but it was frustrating that their build was able to stop me. Okay? And like I said, when you're on a knee bar, he can counter you, so you want to get the work. So when you're here, I'm going to start crushing and rotating and pulling the heel up. Now, a quick memory for you to remember where to put the head, because if I put the head here, right, and I have the knee and the heel, right, this right here is not going to stop him from turning his heel down and setting up, right? And so I don't want that to happen. So I always have this recipe, okay, where it's mat, foot, face, okay? Mat, foot, face. That's the recipe I use. Mat, foot, face, okay? So I have here, lock, and I'm going to step on my own foot. Now, when I step on my own foot, basically, I'm going to leg press. Okay, I'm just going to do a leg press and straighten my legs. Okay, and as I do that, I rotate the heel. It's very easy for me to break it. Now, this isn't wrong. I've used this quite a bit, but I had issues because they've got to think. When I'm here, I'm curling and I'm bringing my hips in, but I'm not using all my pressure. I'm using like short range of muscles. When I come here, I can leg press and I can break someone's leg even if they're standing over me. So it's a little detail. When you train with Gokor, you'll learn a lot of little stuff. And then, of course, if I fail, I can switch to the inside heel hook and all that, okay? So that's something to talk about, another version. I do knee bars a couple different ways. Sometimes I cradle them. And if you have my leg lock DVD, you might have saw that. All right, so I kind of just now explained a little bit on how the knee bar works, some concepts from mat, foot, face, and a little different grips from here. You know, instead of being crossed at the ankles, just step and leg press and curl. You're going to have a lot more power. You can leg press a lot more than you could do this, okay? Now, I think I covered the finish, okay? So now, let's put it into a getup. All right? You were on my starboard side, weren't you?
Yeah, I was on this side. I don't know if you want to go to another angle.
Not because of your toe. I don't want to grab your foot. He got Tolio. You know?
Happens.
It was crazy. The other day, he showed me a foot, and I was like, fuck, man, you got Tolio. And he was like, Tolio? I was like, yeah, man, you got Tolio. So he keeps changing out. He took his jeans off. I looked at his knees. He goes, I go, what's wrong with your knees? And he's like, I don't know, man. And he's like, I think I got the measles. Like, you got the fucking measles? He's like, yeah, man, I got the measles. Then he kept training, took his underwear off, and I said, wait a minute. Let me guess. Smallcocks. Bad joke
I fucking hate
for the immature. I don't know. I'm beat, man. I'm not even drinking. Okay, so I'm turtles up. I'm defending. Man, I'm not trying to let him in or whatever the case is. He puts a hand in front of my face. Oh, there's my grip. Okay. Pin. Get my frame on the inside. When I do this, this is a good sign I'm going to stand up. Gives him even more reason to try to follow me. So I go here. Quick bump. Knee side. Boom. Now I feel him chasing me. I'm going to pivot. He chases me again. Now I go. Okay. Once I feel that knee bumming me, he's driving in. Now's the time to go. I roll underneath and I capture. Okay. kick my leg, get him over, lock, get control. You okay? Yep. Mat, foot, face, figure 4, step. He's already tapping. Okay? All right. And just remember, if for some reason, go behind one more time, I start bumping and knee slide and he doesn't follow me, well, I'm back in the house. Boom. There's my shot, underhook, my snap, or boom, stand up, I'm gone. Okay? So in this combination of motion, I can make you see how I'm creating a lot of options for myself? And there's that submission, but I can't control him because he's on top of me. But he's got to make his choice. Personally, if I'm him and I'm behind him and I have a chance to take his back or go back in front for a front headlock game, I'm not going to let you just stand up. I'm going to try to keep you down. So I'm going to follow him and try to work. So that's just a little bit of a story on how you can apply a knee bar, okay? So there's something to think about. Okay, guys, so there's certain things before I get into the next set I forgot to mention earlier, and I need to cover it. And that is I call it go into the problem. Meaning, if you're trying to grapple and something's stopping you, don't continue to grappling. Go to the problem and take care of it. A lot of it's grips. Okay, so one would be like an example. Just go turtle a second. A guy's here grabbing the head, pulling on the head. If he continues to just grapple me here and so he starts to move, as soon as I'm keeping his head down, so the only thing he can move is his butt. He's going to get butt dragged, then I'm catching him in a choke and things like that. So if he's here on me, and he's pulling my head down, and he's here, I'm going to go to that problem. I'm not going to continue to grapple. I'm going to grab, peel it off, bump, create space. So go to the problem. The other problem that you're going to get a lot is the far leg ankle pick. Now, this can be a bait. I bait people with this, okay? I know some people like to play the turtle like this. Me, I'm not a fan of it. If I want my feet up and pop up, I'll pop up when I need to go. But if I leave my feet like this, one, if he drops a knee on this real quick, he's going to break my toes, okay? And the other thing is I'm not protecting my feet. This is super easy to grab an ankle. And now he's going to lift that and keep the weight on my hands and keep from this position, he can attack me, get hooks in, and I got to deal with this problem. When I play like this, it's a tough time grabbing my ankle. So those little cheater weird tricks, it's hard to get. Okay? And if he's looking for it, so he's reaching across and he gets my ankle for some reason, this side right here, and then grab my ankle. Okay. He goes to that ankle, it's going to be a problem. He's going to screw up all my transitions at the last moment. If I try to stand up here, he picks the ankle. Now look at my body. I can't allow that. Okay? The dude does not abide. Okay? All right, so I'm working here, playing. I feel this. Now I have my setup for my Peterson. Just as an example. You also have a setup to stand up. I see how he's putting weight on me, because what is he doing? He's reaching across, isn't he? Okay? So when he's reaching across, I go to those fingers. What do? I peel him off, pull him in, and I roll. So if he's here, boom, boom. Up, swim, double. Okay? Things like that. So if he's doing something, he's grabbing your wrist, go to the problem. And this is everywhere. Half guard, top position, you name it, guard. Sometimes you're going to end up frustrating yourself because he's got to fight you and you're not being patient and you're trying to grapple him. And meanwhile, he's controlling this or he's got your head and your game was all messed up. If that happens, go to the problem. And like I said, I can bait you to grab my ankle and you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to snatch that baby to hoist him. And I'm waiting on it. So I'm here and I'm like this, he's just not engaging. He's like, F this dude, I'm not going anywhere. And then I step out. Ooh, he grabbed it. Now he has a chance. There's my grip. So I baited him to grab that because he's extended himself, and now I can do my roll. You see what I'm saying? So I do this a lot with my head and neck because I train my neck so much. I started doing it because I got so many neck problems, and then my neck became strong. Now it's a strength and not a weakness. And I was trying to tell him, I'll bump a guy with my head, so he grabs my head. Oh, he grabs my head. Now I'm in my wrestling. So like you can give to get. And a lot of turtle, we've been talking about that. Give to get. Okay? It's kind of interesting. That's my tactics. So I don't have to force thing anymore. I just bait him, and he takes it. And that's kind of the fun part of the game for me. All right? I just wanted to mention that because if you start having problems, and a lot of times you're not looking and paying attention to what he's doing. You're trying to figure out what you want to do. I got to read him. All right? If I give him a bait, he takes it. Or if he's riding me good, he's got a good wrist ride on me. All right? I didn't talk about this either. Let's just say he gets a one-on-one on me here. Okay? Just one-on-one, not two-on. Okay? This is terrible. I can't allow this. Now, I can do little things to mess with them. So one of the most simple things to do is to peel. Now, the downside about peeling this off is now he's going to grab my other wrist. You see how, and now we're in this game. I lived in this game with Phil Davis behind me. And that's when I started playing with different grips. Okay? Now, for example, if he has a one-on-one on me and I want to get rid of this, I can try to straighten it. Okay? Notice I turn my palm up, elbow on the inside, straighten it. That will help me break his grip. Now I'm posturing so you guys can see. The other thing is knock him off balance. You know? So if he's here and he's being tight, I'll just go quick little bump, peel off, now I'm moving. Okay? So little things like that. Don't let him control a wrist. Never let him control a wrist like that. Never let him get a one-on-one. Okay? You should be protecting. If he gets it, deal with it. Because that one-on-one's going to bite you in the ass when you're not last expected. I showed how I could just do a hammer lock with a one-on-one. So don't abide by letting someone have a one-on-one. Okay? So that's something I just want to mention. When you're in this position, don't give anything. Deal with it and move on. All right? So one of the things we get here before we get into counter and leg hooks and all that is getting caught in a crucifix. And that happens why? You know, maybe when I'm turtle, I'm looking for that arm, that leg, I get caught. It happens. Or maybe when I'm playing here, he's slick and he makes it happen. So when I get crucifixed, the common way to do it is when the leg closest to my head hooks the arm. Now, Pete, I don't do it that way. I like the opposite, and for a lot of reasons. Okay, but the leg that's close to my feet, hook it. That's the way I like to do it. And I have my reasons. I'm not going to get into it. Okay, so when he locks his crucifix, I want to get him off balance, and I want to get him on the mat so I can dip out. Okay, so I'm going to show you two versions. One, I can swim out, and the other one, he ends up kind of like power halving me a little bit and turning me. Okay, and then I'll show the escape to that. Okay, so I'm not going to, let's just get into it. I'm not going to, come up with a reason why he would catch me. But let's say he catches it like this. It's very common. This is how you play it, right? You comfortable with this? So he might have a wrist ride. He might be looking for the choke. So regardless, I'm shrugging. All right? Remember, I got to take the cross face. Okay? I'm here, and I'm fighting. And I definitely want to try to get his hand. So even if he locks me like a jiu-jitsu grip, I'm going to try to trap and get that choking hand. I always got to protect myself. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch his knee. And remember, I said always be ready to post on your head. Now, I could technically swim for his head with this arm. It's not going to come from me. I've seen other guys do it. I can't do it. My shoulders are trashed. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull him in and drive with my body and knock him to his hip. So from here, I'm going to basically grab and I'm going to bump and post on my head. Now, when he's here, I'm going to post on my hand and I'm going to duck my head out. Okay, if I have to, I'll pike up and duck my head out and make a ramp. Now, when that happens, look where his arm position is. It is golden for the arm triangle. Okay? So as soon as I dump out of this, right away I'm going to dip my shoulder and I'm going to grab down here by his lat muscle. Okay? Now, I still have his knee. Because right now he's going to what? He's going to try caging me out, and that's going to be a problem. But this is his bottom leg, the one I was holding. I'm going to pick that up, and it's going to force him to his back. Okay? Now, this leg's not bothering me. I've got good enough of pressure chokes that he's just going to tap. I understand a lot of people don't know pressure chokes. You go to my, get my DVD, Off With Their Head. I get all into pressure chokes and arm triangles. It's a whole arm triangle instructional. Okay? It's always been one of my favorite submissions. Okay? So, boom. If you have to now, I'm going to lock behind the back. I'm going to drive my knee across, and my head is going to hook around the lower delt. Don't be up here. Here. This is where the choke is. Okay? You right?
Yeah.
My head's going to hook. All right? Now, as I'm doing this, I'm going to be flexing the entire time, not pumping. Now, I'm not doing a squeeze where it's evenly pressured. My squeeze is off to the side, dropping my shoulder. Don't pump it. Don't go, That's not going to do a thing. Constant, even pressure. Okay? Boom, hook low. Now, once I get on the back here, I get a good grip. Now, as I'm ready to step off, watch my elbow, flares out for base. I'm going to come over the top, keep my head low. And remember, I'm flexing the whole time. And he's going to tap. Okay? If you want to learn a lot about arm triangles, the Off With Your Head DVD or instructional has gotten wonderful reviews. I'm glad people got it. It's a choke that I think everybody should master. No matter what your size and build is. And it's a perfect choke for MMA, combat jiu-jitsu, as well as, any of my fighters, they had to master the arm triangle. The way you practice it is you do it one-handed. And a lot of times you can do the one-handed version better once you learn it. And a lot of guys, my students, like Phil Davis, to bring him up again, he prefers to do it one-handed even. I'll do it one-handed, but I also, a lot of times lock my hands and do it that way as well. But it's something you should always learn. I wish I could train all of you personally and make you guys all awesome at it, but it's not happening. All right, so to reset that, he gets the cruise. I bump him over, swim out, and what do? Aggression attack. Okay? And remember, see how when I grab that knee, I yank it up, put his shoulder on the mat. That way I don't have to deal with his legs. So I could bait this if I really wanted to, couldn't I? If I get confident at this enough. Okay? All right, so I got to be prepared. So let's just say he locks it. Boom. And he goes for the choke. I shrug, and I get my hand in. So now I got a little survival. Now I'm going to drive, put my head on the mat, and pull this knee in. Boom. Okay? Now from here, I'm going to pike up and turn my head out. Move, look for the arm, dip my shoulder, pull this knee up, start my pressure choke. The whole time, drive across, lock under the back, and okay. All right? Now, the only thing I'm going to add to that is, what if he turns it to a power hat? Hey, smart move, actually. Okay? The problem with the power half for me is one, it's going to force me to turn. It's going to force me to roll. The other option with the power half is when he crushes my head down, my instinct is to do what? The opposite, pick my head up, that's when you get choked. Okay? If he's powering half in you and you're going, and we'll refer to this when we start about hooks in, if you're going to go, if he's going to roll you, beat him to it. Just roll. You're going to go with it. Okay? Because you can kind of loosen things when you get ahead of it. All right? So, actually, we should, I think this is the best way. All right, so it's the same situation. He gets the crucifix. All right, but now he's on top. So right here, I can't pick my head up, and he's going to drop his weight, and he's going to turn me. So when he falls, keep the power half. Just stay tight here, boss. Boom. I'm going to roll over with it. Okay? Now, from here, immediately, I'm going to roll back. Okay? Because look where I'm at. I'm in a terrible spot, and he's going to start choking in a second. So now I quickly touch, and I roll back. But stick my head out, back on the technique. Okay? It just works like a charm. Maybe gi is different, but no gi, it's like a charm. So if you get power halved and you think you're going, trying to resist it is not a great idea. You could slip out, but I don't recommend it. Just blast over it, blast right back, and you'll dump right out. Okay? So I'm not going to show it again. I think we're good on that. All right? Do you need to see it again?
Nope, that's good.
We're good. Okay, so that's a little detail on counter crucifix.